Is this on? Is this on? Woo. Let's do this again. Take two. Because of the great success of Dawn of the Dead, Warner Brothers decided to give Zack Snyder another chance, and that was with the novel adaptation of the beloved novel, graphic novel by Frank Miller, 300. He went ahead and did this, and guess what? It was a major hit. And it's safe to say this is the film that put Zack Snyder on the map. Let's talk about 300. Let's go back to 2006. That was almost 20 years ago. Damn. There's something very special about the mid-2000s. Comic book movies were starting to be taken very seriously. Some would credit Christopher Nolan in Batman Begins and bringing a grounded, reality-based superhero movie to the genre, kind of just breaking the mold. But then you have directors like Robert Rodriguez, who took the Sin City graphic novel and literally brought it to life on the big screen. I don't know if you're a fan of Sin City, but it's one of my favorite comic book movies. It's not talked about enough. But it was bringing a graphic novel to life, but also respecting the source material. And that's what Zack Snyder did with 300. We all know he's a comic book fan, and what he did is he used, more or less, Frank Miller's graphic novel. And there was no storyboard. The storyboard already existed in his mind. The storyboard was the novel. He meticulously brought those panels to life, and I think that's what is appreciated, either if you're a Zack Snyder fan or not. What everybody loves about the film is that visually, it's just fucking beautiful to look at. It looks like an art painting. It looks like something you would see at a museum come to life. I know a lot of you may not be fans of his artistic flair or stylistic look, but it works with the source material and it works for this film. And if you joined me last night on my watch along, I saw it again for the first time in about 10 years. And you know what? It holds up visually. Yes, the graphics may not be as sharp or modernized as we see them today, but again, it fits the nomenclature and it fits the canvas of the source material, which works. And here we are almost 20 years later, and it's safe to say that it's found itself within the pop culture genre.
This is Sparta!
This is Sparta!
This is Sparta!
We still talk about it. We still quote it. Spartans, what is your profession? And it does have some of the best fight scenes ever. I'm talking iconic. And then you have great performances from Gerard Butler, who played King Leonidas, his queen Lena Headey, who later found success in the Game of Thrones space, and also Dread, which is another comic book film that we don't talk about. It is really good. And of course, Michael Fassbender, who played Stelios, who delivered one of the most iconic lines ever.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Then we will fight in the shade.
All the actors, everybody brings their A game, and there's not one weak link in the entire cast. The score is amazing, the cinematography, everything, the special effects. Yes, they've aged a tad, but it matches the aesthetic of the film. And as far as the film's success, yes, this was a major success for Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers. The budget at the time was $65 million, and it grossed worldwide almost $456 million. The result of this success gave Warner Brothers 100% confidence, and they literally told Zack Snyder, here's Watchmen, we trust you, do what you want. And he did. And as far as cons, I didn't have one until, believe it or not, I saw it with my buddy Cody on my watch along, and if you missed it, you can click right there and check it out. One of the main complaints that I hear from non-Zack Snyder fans is that sometimes his films, the style of it, the look of it, supplants the substance of the characters. And this is the first time I think I've seen it with objective eyes. And yes, I am a fanboy of Zack Snyder, but I want to be objective with these reviews and be honest with you. I just don't want to just be like Zack Snyder hard on here. Yes, last night's movie, I did see it in a different light. Okay. And you know what? As much as I love Zack Snyder, and again, I love his movies, I will always give him a fair shot. Again, seeing it with you here has me see this movie differently. And I understand the arguments where people say it's all style versus substance. I can see it with 300. As epic as this movie is, I think on rewatch, it doesn't have that same level of impact that you had when you initially saw it, because it is a great ride when you first see it. And you're just swept away with the visuals and the story, all that stuff. It's, again, I can understand that argument now. And I think this experience helped out, well, at least watching it right here. Yes, the film starts off great. Yes, there are some epic battle sequences throughout the film, but in the second act, the film does tend to drag, because we did notice that there were some battles that would take place that were epically done, if that's a thing. But then you get a quick narration, voiceover, and then another battle, narration, battle. And it really, seeing it again for the first time in 10 years, it kind of slowed down the film and it got a little boring. And this continues until one of the soldiers from Leonidas' 300, his son is killed. Now we have a chance to breathe and actually mourn a death. There's been thousands of deaths already, but let's mourn this one and bring back the human side into the film. That's the first time we actually take a breather and acknowledge the consequences of war. So as far as the film goes for me, after seeing it for the first time in over 10 years, the first act is amazing. The second act really was repetitive and slow. And then it kind of picked up a little bit in the third act when you had some human emotions, some human elements, and some dialogue that really just kind of honed down into the human side of the story. Is it historically accurate? No way. But it is an epic film with a great story. In closing, did 300 hold up for me after 10 years of not seeing it? It kind of did. It wasn't as awesome as I recall, but I remember in 2006 when I initially saw it, it was an amazing experience. All the guys wanted to hit the gym afterward. I bought it when it came out on Blu-ray after that. And I enjoyed it from 06 to maybe 2010. And then I hadn't seen it in so long. Seeing it again 10 years after the fact, I do acknowledge that some of that style trumps the substance in that second act. And again, it wasn't as epic as I thought it was, but it's still a great movie. And that does it for my 300 review, everybody. If you didn't see the watch along, you're more than welcome to check it out. Again, the link will be up there. What did you think of 300? Do you love it? Put some comments down below. Also like the video. And again, I want to hit 10,000 subscribers. I'm almost there before March. So if you can help me out, subscribe. If you like the video, I would appreciate that. Until then, everybody, I'll see you next time. For my next video will be The Watchmen, which is personally one of my favorites. See you then.